Hello everyone, this is Brenda and welcome to Brenda's Painting Workshop Live on Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Tonight we are having a little bit of a special because we're in between our boxes and we're going to go over color washing, which is something we're going to do with our next box. So I actually have Jack and Putz, our retro snowman, that is coming in the box for anyone that's subscribed. We got those shipped out today. And Courtney will be sending the tracking numbers later tomorrow night because we're setting up tomorrow morning for a craft show on Saturday. And then she's heading to Beloit to pick up the January Bisque box molds. And it'll be a 6-hour round trip drive. So she's sticking her hand in there to see if we can get it to focus better because it's looking a little blurry on the computer screen, and that looks better now. So tonight is mostly about talking about color washing because that's what we are going to do on two of our pieces. We're going to do our Putz with a medium blue, and we're going to do our Jack with the navy blue. So color washing was actually, a color wash was actually a product that Gare made. Probably, I'm trying to remember back, maybe in the 1990s, and it's probably been discontinued for about 10 years already. So I actually dug in my drawer and I found this jar of Gare color wash. It was Midnight Black. So, and it's an acrylic product. And you can see it has color wash right on it. I'll bring it up so you can see it. And I'll open it up and you can see that it's just a very thin acrylic stain. Not sure how well you can see that. I'll pour it out into the container lid here. So that's just our color wash product. That's how it came. And I'll dump it back in. So this is old. It was just in my drawer, and there's probably not enough left in there to do one thing. So I'm going to just read the instructions of what they had on here. It says directions: shake well, apply 1 coat to mature bisque or over acrylic stains, which then you would be doing more of an antiquing. Wipe with a clean, damp sponge, and it's self-sealing and do not fire. So it's a very simple product. It came in different colors. I probably used the Midnight Black. There was like a garnet red, the navy blue, probably would have been the colors that I used mostly. But this is the one that I had left in my drawer. It was $3.10. And so since it's no longer available, we kind of improvised and made our own color wash at the ceramic shop that I worked at because we couldn't get it, purchase it anymore. And so I would mix up the paint and you paint on the color wash. So this is a picture of our Putz with the navy blue. And you basically paint the color wash on, and then you take a wet sponge and you wipe the high spots, and then you leave it in your crevices, which is you're doing it while your bisque is white. If you would be doing this after your bisque is all painted, it would be more of an antiquing process, and we'll be doing that with our Snuggle Up piece that's in our bisque box for December, and we'll be doing that with gold actually. So that's how he would look with the color wash on him, and you can use different colors to color wash. Let's see, this would have been, Courtney's going to adjust the camera now so you can see the whole piece. So we'll give her just a minute to move our zoom out so you can see the whole piece. So this is a sweater snowman. And this is, it's just a bright blue. It's not the navy blue, it's more of a bright blue. So you can see it's not very pretty when it goes on. You put it on a bigger piece like this, you would do maybe the face and then wipe it off, and then do the body and then wipe it off. And then you would move to the back and do like the head and wipe it off, and then the body and wipe it off. But again, it's not very pretty looking when you're working on it. So that's one color of blue. And you don't have to use blue. So here would be another piece. This is a Halloween piece that I would have used brown on first. And again, what you would do this in sections, do maybe the top half and then the bottom half. And then you would do the back. So you can see the dark color is staying in your creases, but your high spots are being wiped off. And then I actually did start dry brushing him, but I have the wrong color. I have to actually look at the candy corn. I think it's orange, white, yellow. So that's why I actually never finished this. I need to switch out my colors. So you can see that you can use different colors to color wash with. So once your piece is color washed, then you're going to dry brush. And here is a piece that's done with a navy, and it's looking really bright blue on the computer screen, but it's actually more of a navy blue. So it was color washed and it looked like Putz. And then I started dry brushing the white over the navy, and you build it up until there's just a little bit of blue left in the crevices. But you can see the white has a blue hue to it. So that's what's nice about the color wash. If you use purple, it's going to have the purple hue to it. If you use turquoise, it's going to have a turquoise hue to it. And then you just continue dry brushing the rest of your piece out. The eyes were actually painted, and the nose, the carrot nose was painted. So there are parts that you paint and parts that you dry brush. So that's how that looks. Here's another one that was also done with that navy. And again, he was dry brushed with the white. So it has that nice blue hue. Then I started dry brushing the arms with the brown. I painted the black on the mouth and the eyes. So it's just another technique of doing things. And it has a nice soft graduation of color because of the dry brushing. So that's that guy. And then we have an actual finished piece. So this was with the same color dry brush or color washed. And then I just dry brushed my white, and then I dry brushed my green. I painted out the light bulbs. Painted out the box and the little shovel, dry brushed on his scarf and his hat. But you can see it's just a nice soft look to it. But yet it has a blue hue to it. It's not real stark white with the snow. So that's a finished piece. So hopefully you can see that real good. Let's turn it. So now we'll go back to talking more about the actual color washing. So since we cannot buy that product, some people make their own color wash. And so I like to use navy, turquoise, purple, brown. You can also use black. And I do about a 2 parts water to 1 part paint. And I actually mix mine up and put it into a pint jar, because I usually do a ton of pieces at a time because I do the craft shows. For personal use, what you could use is a small empty container. Like today I put the no fire snow in the little pots for your December boxes, so you could save one of these containers and put your color wash in one of these. Anything that's going to seal up tight that's probably smaller than a pint jar would be great for you guys, unless you're doing a whole ton of things. You could use a baby food jar if you know someone with that's using baby food, but an empty glaze jar or empty acrylic if you have acrylic in this type of bottle, or the snow. So I'm going to take that, and normally I would put my whole bottle of paint in my pint jar, but for tonight we're just gonna show you how to make your color wash. So I'm shaking up my navy, and I'm using the Duncan OS 460 navy, and that's the color we will use on our jack. So this is tonight's basically just to show you how to make a color wash. So you want to put equal 1 part of paint to 2 parts of water. So I'm going to put 2 caps full of my navy into my container. And then I'm going to put in, I have a measuring cup here, and I'm just going to pour 4 caps of water to make it the 2 parts water. 3 and 4, and it don't have to be exact. There's not a science to it. It's pretty forgiving. So then I'm going to take that and just shake it up. So it's going to be fairly watery. Also, if you don't like getting your hands all stained with paint, you may want to use rubber gloves. I'm okay with it. Huh? That's okay. So now we have a nice watery diluted color. And I'm going to set my bottle of paint aside because I gotta, or you could even use a measuring spoon if you don't want to use your cap, because it kind of does make a mess out of the cap. But you basically want to use 1 part water or 1 part paint to 2 parts water. So you could use 1 ounce of paint to 2 ounces of water. So if you used 2 ounces of paint, then you would use 4 ounces of water. So it's a 1 to 2 mixture, 1 part paint and 2 parts water. So now I'm going to take my jack, and that's how you make a color wash, and it's very simple and it's very thin. And then I have a container of water, and in your subscription box you have a sponge. Was one of the extra items in there. So I'm going to put my sponge in my bowl of water. Move that so you guys can see it. And don't worry about how he's going to look, because he's going to look ugly. The hat is black mostly, so we don't need to get it on the hat, but we will need to get it on all the rest of it. And so I'm just dipping into my color wash that I made, and that'll be more than enough for your jack. And I just have a nylon round brush, the Royal & Langnickel size 8, and we're just going to brush that on there, and it's going to run all over, and we're going to let it do that. And you just want to get the whole thing. And you can do a section at a time, and you can do a little more, or you can leave it. So then I'm just going to put my brush down. I'm going to grab my sponge and wring the water out. And now I'm just going to wipe off and just let it on the high spots. And I'm going to wring out my sponge, and you just wipe it until you get as much off as you want. And you got to turn him. So it's not pretty, but it ends up very pretty, as you can see by the finished one that I have. So that's good. It's mainly in the dark spot, in the dark areas. If it's like here it's darker and there it's lighter, that's okay if you can't get it to be the equal. When you dry brush it, it all covers out fine. So now we're just going to go on our color wash again and just brush it on there. Like I said, it's pretty ugly. And just brush it and let it run. You might want to have a placemat or a piece of plastic or cardboard underneath your piece when you're doing this because it is messy and it runs. So we're just going to brush that out on his little front half of his body here. And now we're going to take our sponge again, and we're just going to wipe off just get down to the more of the white, leaving it dark in the creases. And this is how you antique as well. It's just that you do it after your piece is painted. So I'm just wiping it off. And I do like to do my color washing before I'm going to dry brush and let it dry. You might want to do it an hour before, or if you can do it the day before, that works great too. So I'm just wiping it off. And we'll get it off of there. Whoop. So there's nothing hard about it. It's just a thinner paint. You're brushing it on. And if you want, you can just do little sections at a time instead of the whole big section. And I'm wiping pretty aggressively as far as putting pressure on there when I get down in there. And we're going to go and grab some more and just brush it on. So it's very easy. And you can mix up any colors that you'd like, whatever you want your under color to be. So it mainly started out because it was a product that Gare made, and it was called Color Wash. So we'll get his little mitten here. Okay, so Cordy brought the comments over so we can see if we got questions. So tonight was more just to show you how to make a color wash, or a mixture of paint that you could use to color wash, and to show you how it's done. And then if you want, once your box comes, you can prep your piece for next week. You don't have to. And then to just answer any questions that anybody has. So I'm just going to take a minute and look at our questions. So we have, should the water be at room temperature or does it matter? The water temperature really doesn't matter. I just use just straight out of the faucet. It's just water. Just water straight out of the faucet. The thing that's probably going to make the biggest difference is how big of an area you color wash at a time. If you do a little area and you wipe quickly, more of it is going to wipe off. If you do a huge area, some of it's going to dry a lot more, and it's going to be harder to wipe more of it off, which isn't a big deal either because you're going to be dry brushing over it anyway.
Does like well water make a difference?
Well water shouldn't make a difference, no. And so you just wipe it off, let it in the cracks. So now here we have the two different shades of the blue, like it's a lot less blue here and a lot more here. That's fine, don't even worry about that. When you're dry brushing, it's all gonna equal out in the end. And you always want to get the bottom of your piece too.
I have a question. How does this differ from base coating?
So
Color.
Cordy says we have a question. How does it differ from base coating a solid color? Probably just that you're using less paint. It's also going to be easier to dry brush, that I think it'll be quicker to dry brush because you're actually, some of the white is showing through already, so it's going to take less white to dry brush to get the snow. That's really the, I mean, you could paint it the solid color of navy blue and probably get close to the same result as well. It would probably take longer to cover up a solid navy, the solid navy, than it's going to this, because it's already, it's like a whole shade lighter already. So I have my bottom. I'm not going to worry about the hat. We're going to go over here and get our little broom.
You have another question. So you don't base coat, this goes straight onto the bisque.
So Cordy says the next question is, let's see, where is it? How get them? It's further up in the feed. I'm going to move the feed down. So Courtney's looking for a question. So Katie asked, and you don't base coat, question mark. This goes right onto the bisque. Correct. You do not have to base coat. This is your base coat. You just use your color wash right straight onto your bisque. After your, if you would do this after your piece was painted and then wiped it off, that would be what's known as antiquing your piece. But we're just color washing it. We're staining it before we dry brush it. So now when you're wiping, if your water that's in your bucket gets really, really colored, you could also have a second container of water or go switch out your water. And that helps for wiping. So you can wipe as much off as you want. Like here's more wiped off, here's less wiped off. I probably forgot to wipe down there when we were wiping. And it does dry as you're waiting. If you wait too long, it's harder to wipe off because it just stains it. But it's not a big deal because you're going to dry brush over it anyway. It's just you're getting those the darkness in your crevices. I'm trying to get some of the blue off because it just makes it, the dry brushing go faster, I guess I would say. So now we're going to get the birds. And it's okay, like it's going to run on the hat because that will actually cover up with the black paint when we paint it. And you do want to let it on there for a little bit of time, because if you wiped it off while it was still wet, there would be hardly any color staining done to your whatever little area that you color washed. So I'm just doing up my little birds. And I'm going to take my sponge and sponge it out. And now I'm just going to wipe on there. So if you want to do a littler area at a time, that's probably the better way to do it. You can get more wiped off. Like this is really good right here. And you just got to turn it and wipe some more. No, we're just about done with this one. Maybe when I'm done with this one before I do the next one. So you just keep wiping it until you get the degree of paint off that you want. And you kind of want to wipe across your texture too, because you want to leave the dark color wash color in those crevices, just like when you're dry brushing. So your sponge will be stained whatever color you're color washing with. So you just wash it out and the stain isn't going to hurt anything. I usually use one sponge just for color washing because it does get pretty ugly. And then if you wipe too much off, maybe that's like too white, I don't want that so white, you just go back and add some more your color wash, let it dry a little bit, and then you can just wipe it again and just not wipe it so much. So like we have the spot here and we have our runs here. That's fine. That's not going to hurt anything. When you dry brush it, that's all going to be covered up. You just want to make sure you get this, like, it looks like here I could go up a little further. I want to make sure I have that dark color going up far enough. And here you kind of have to go with that texture underneath there, because it's hard to wipe it just down. So he's pretty much color washed to the point where I would just leave him. And like I said, it does look kind of ugly, but once it's painted, he's looking cute. Do we have the painted one, Courtney? He might be packed, boxed up already for the craft show tomorrow. So Courtney's going to take a quick peek to see if he's handy, so we can show you the actual finished one. But there were pictures posted. So Courtney says, we have a question. Elizabeth says, will you be showing the antiquing effect? Not tonight, but we will be doing it when we do our snuggled up snowman. That's part of the box. We will be antiquing him with the gold. So we will be doing the color washing, and we will also be doing the antiquing, which antiquing is just basically the same thing that we're doing now, except you do it after your piece is painted. So our jack is pretty good. I should probably dry my hands before I touch the painted stuff. So my hands aren't real dirty, but they're stained. So if you're in food service or something, you're probably going to want to wear gloves, because it is kind of a messy thing. So I'm going to set him aside. No, this is good. You could probably empty the water. Then we'll do the other one. So let's see, where'd Jack go? Our painted Jack. So here is our painted Jack. I'm just going to put the lid on. So once he's dry brushed, that's what he's going to look like. And he started out just like this guy. But you just dry brush over that blue, and you just keep building up your white until it's the white that you want. And we have the dark navy blue in all our little crevices. The hat is just painted out. His mittens were dry brushed also. The little scarf is part of this box. So that's coming in the boxes. The snow and the glitter is also in your boxes that shipped today. And we'll be painting the eyes. So that's how he looks. He starts out ugly, but he ends up really, really cute. And that's color washing, and it's just a technique that's probably from the 1990s, based on a product that Gare had called Color Wash that's just not produced anymore. And so the ceramic shop that I go to, that's the ladies there, they just mix their own, and that's what we do to make our own color wash. So that's how he looks. And then we had our Putz. Where did Putz go? So then our other one is our little Putz, and he's the retro snowman. And I've used medium blue color wash on him. And so again, you'll get the snow and the glitter, and you also get the little mirrored snowflake. And then there's something else in your Bisque box that we're not showing you because part of it's a surprise, but it's for him. So we can mix up some medium blue now and show you how that works. So it's just dry brushed white over the top of the medium blue, but it just gives a little bit of a lighter blue than the navy blue, just to show you that you can use different colors and you can make your own colors. You can't buy them today, so that's how you have to do it. So I just have another empty container. It was the No Fire Snow from today. And I'm going to use my Duncan OS 457 medium blue. Now, if you don't want to do your snowman in blue, you want to use turquoise or purple, just mix up the color, the base coat that you want the snow hue to have the hue of that color. So if you wanted a purple hue to your snowman, just use a darker purple. So don't feel like you have to use the blue, but we were using the blue based on what I did the samples on. So again, it's a 2-to-1, and you don't have to measure it if you can just squirt it in there and go by that too. But like I said, I usually mix up a whole bottle at a time, and then like 1 bottle of paint to 2 bottles of water and put it in a pint jar. So I'm just going to use a cap full of medium blue. And then I'm going to use 2 caps of water. And then I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to put my lid on, and we have a question. So let's see, what's our question? Do you use the Kinsey eye chart? I don't have the Kinsey eye chart, but that's a great reference to use too, if you have it.
How long would you recommend it to sit and dry before you start to dry brush?
Usually when, so Courtney says the question was, how long would you let your piece sit to dry before you dry brush? When I do mine, I'll do all my color washing one night, because I work full time during the day. So I might color wash like 15 to 20 pieces one night. And then I would start my dry brushing the next night. You probably want to wait a good hour. You can dry brush like in 10 minutes, but your white isn't going to be a pure white. It's going to have a even more of a blue hue to it. So I do like to wait till the next day myself. So here is our medium blue color wash, and I'm just going to pour it into the lid, so hopefully you guys can see how thin it is. It's thin like ink, I guess you could say, compared to the acrylic stain. So hopefully that you can see that. So let's just dump it back in there. So it's just 1 part water, or sorry, I keep saying water first. 1 part paint to 2 parts water. So if you're using 1 teaspoon of paint, you'd use 2 teaspoons of water. If you're using 1 bottle of paint, you'd use 2 bottles of water. There's nothing technical about it. It's just 1 part paint to 2 parts of water. So you can use a half a cup of paint, and then you'd use a cup of water.
If there's leftovers, does it keep?
So Cordy says, there she goes. If there's leftovers, does it keep? Yes, just keep it in a solid, tightly closed container. Like this Gare color wash is probably from the 1990s, and you could use it. It's as long as it's not dried up, you can use it. If it was really thick, you could add water to it, but it's still thin in the container. It's just that there's not much in there. It would have to be a kind of a smaller piece that I did, and it was just stuck in the back of a drawer. And I thought, well, I'm going to look in that drawer to see if I have a old jar of that color wash to show you guys that it was just a product that Gare used to make, and that's all it is. nothing hard about it. So again, I have 1 part paint and 2 parts water. So we're going to take our Putz, and I have my water, and I have my sponge, which is all stained up here, but that's okay. And I have the table stained up too now, but that's all right. It's all about painting. So I'm just going to take my brush and go in my medium blue, and actually I didn't wash that out first. I probably want to get rid of some of that navy that's in there. See, I got it on my container now. So I'm just going to take my light medium blue, brush it on him, and just do an area at a time. Take your sponge, squeeze out the water, and then just wipe it off and let your medium blue down in your crevices. So we'll take our brush and we're going to paint our medium blue on. And we'll just do an area at a time. Bring out my sponge and just wipe it off. And it's staying down in the crevices, and that's what you want. So let me see, what else? Do we have any other questions? Oh, Rufus likes Putz. Yes, he's really cute, and he, like Cordy said, he comes in other sizes too. We had one. I was able to get the one. He's maybe 12 inches tall, and he's carrying a Christmas tree. But I got that greenware from our local shop, and now I can't get that anymore. That was really popular, and it lit up. I'm probably gonna break down and buy that mold myself. So again, I'm just brushing out my color wash, taking my wrung out sponge, and I'm just gonna wipe it off.
I'm wondering where my phone is.
Huh?
I've been wondering where my phone is.
Cordy says she's wondering where her phone is. Whose phone is this? Mine? Yours?
Mine.
Oh, she's looking for her phone, and she gave it to me so I could see questions. That's okay. So now we're going to turn him and do the back. So again, you can do this with any of your acrylic stains. Just mix it 1 part paint to 2 parts water. Brush on an area. Take your wet sponge. Wipe off as much as you want to wipe off. And always make sure you do your bottoms. I'm a stickler for doing your bottoms. And then you will just want to take your sponge wrung out and wipe your high spots and let it in the low spots. Wipe the bottom a little bit.
There's someone asking for clarification. You don't base coat at all.
So we have another clarification. She's wondering, the question is, so do I understand correctly? We do not base coat the bisque. Nope, you do not base coat your bisque. You're just using your color wash and basically staining it. I guess you could say that. And then we'll be dry brushing it. So I'm just wiping off as much of the medium blue that I want. Say I get an area that I wiped too much off on, like right there, that's kind of all white. I can go back into my color wash and just put it on there and let it dry a little bit. And then we'll just take our sponge and wipe it out. And I'll just wipe real gently and not wipe so much off. So a little that wants to come off of there, all of it. Sometimes you have it like that. So I'll just take my brush and kind of wipe it with that. You can go in the water with your brush and kind of thin it out a little more that way too. So get a little more off his belly. I'm letting more on his bow. Get a little bit off his hands. So that's all there is to the color washing. And let's see, we have Putz here somewhere too, right, Courtney?
Yeah.
Oh, he's right here in front of me. So here he is, dry brush then with white. And I did go back and paint his bow, the medium blue, painted in his eyes and his little red button. And painted out his hat. Then I sealed him. Added his snow and glitter and added his little snowflake, and then there's the little extra thing in your box that you'll get that we're not going to show you. So that's all there is to the color washing, really. You just mix your color wash up, 1 part paint to 2 parts water. If you want it stronger, you could go 1 part paint to 1 part water, which is just equal parts of paint and equal parts of water. But I found that the 1 part paint to 2 parts water works well for me. I'm sure other people have other ways of doing it. My way is never the only way. It's just what I have found that works for me. So that's basically the color wash basics. It was a product that you used to be able to get and you can no longer get. So we just mix up our own. Use any of your acrylic paints. Whatever dark color you want in your creases, that's the color you're going to mix up. My favorites are the navy, the medium blue, turquoise, purple. For fall things, I'll use browns, like the Trick or Treat had. It used a brown, That's good, Courtney. So you don't have to use, and you can also use black too. It probably saves on some dry brushing because you are wiping off a lot of that darkness compared to base coating. I like to base coat too. I do like the color washing for my snowmen and my penguins mostly. It's color washing is good for animals too, like eagles. You could color wash with the black and then dry brush your browns, and so it's good for animals too. So then our other item that we're doing is going to be our Cuddled Up, and he was painted out, and I actually used French vanilla and then mixed it 50-50 with white so it wasn't too yellow. This was the French vanilla by itself. It's more yellow, more aged, antique-y looking. We used the Barn Red and painted out his eyes. And then I took the gold and I actually used the straight metallic Duncan gold and painted it on him. And then wiped it off with the water and brush, or water and sponge, just like we did with the color washing. I got to see which way I got to go with these snowmen because they're not in the middle of the screen. So this one is more of our ivory, or it's the French vanilla thinned out. The left-handed one, he's not pure white. And then this one is the French vanilla. That's just French vanilla, which is my right one. So this guy was left, Courtney. The French vanilla that's been 50-50 with the white. And after they're painted out, then I took my gold, which is our Duncan Ultra Metallics UM951 solid gold, and I painted the whole, like in sections, just like we did with the color washing, and then wiped it off with a sponge. And you can leave as much on or off, however you want to do it. You can leave more on or take more off. And then they're sealed with the spray sealer. So that's all there is to antiquing. And you can antique with any color as well. It's kind of the gold is kind of complementary to the French vanilla. It's in that same yellows family. So that's how those guys will be done. So then, as a little extra for tonight, Courtney is going to do a drawing giveaway.
They have to comment what other techniques they'd like to see from you.
So she would like you to comment on our feed of what other techniques you would like to see us do to show you. And then your name will go into a drawing, and you'll get a snowman, a bottle of navy acrylic, and a sponge for color washing. So kind of a little color wash kit giveaway.
They'll pick a winner Sunday night.
So Courtney says she'll pick a winner on Sunday night because we do have a lot going on tomorrow and Saturday.
And they have to hit the like or thumbs up.
Oh, and she said the other thing she wants you to do is hit the thumbs up that you liked the color washing experience, I guess you could call it. So hit the like button, comment on what technique you would like us to show you, and then your name will go into a drawing for this little package, and we'll ship it to you for free. She'll probably send an email to you for your address, whoever's picked, and we'll ship for free. Yep. So you'll get the snowman, US only, she says. Well, but we do have our other two ladies. They're out of state, the US.
US and Canada. US, Canada, and Australia.
Okay, so we'll ship free to US, Australia, and Canada because we do have subscribers in those 3 countries. So we'll include you guys. So again, just hit the like button, comment what technique you would like us to show you.
Lots of eyes, you've done an eye video.
Courtney says we're getting lots of eyes. We do have an eye video. You just go to our YouTube channel and Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, and you can watch that eye video. We'll work on more, but it's probably not going to be till spring or after the Christmas season here, and we get the January boxes shipped because I have a craft show tomorrow and I have orders, and then it's Christmas, and then we'll be getting ready with those January boxes, the subscription boxes. So we'll be working on more eyes, but there is one eye video right now on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque on YouTube. Courtney added the link. We had a question, do you do glazes? Glazes we can do. I guess I haven't really done glazes because the whole idea behind this was that people don't have access to supplies or a kiln, and if you don't have access to a kiln, you can't get your glazes fired. I may do separate workshop tutorial type videos that are going to be glazes, but maybe not, but not so much on Thursday night, because the Thursday night is focused on the subscription box and what you guys are subscribing to and is being shipped to you. So you have someone to help you with those boxes, and I do have different techniques coming up for those. One will be rub-on metallics, one will be marbling. So the color washing this time and the antiquing this time, but Thursday nights is basically based on the subscription boxes and the Bisque sets that are in those, and we will work at other videos for specific things like glazing and maybe cutting out greenware, pouring molds, that kind of stuff. There'll be videos that'll be posted on the YouTube channel that you can just go and watch at any time, just as informational. But the Thursday nights are for the subscription boxes. And the subscription boxes, again, it's a monthly box. It's based on a theme. We invoice you on the 1st. They ship on the 4th, or you have till midnight on the 4th, and then we ship on the 5th. And there is a video about that, how that works, and on our Facebook page. So, and there's also a Bisque box group that we post stuff just about the Bisque box, and you can be a subscriber or not be a subscriber, it doesn't matter. So I guess that's pretty much it. Was just a little basic about color washing, how to mix it, how to do it, how to apply it. If you want to do your pieces once your boxes come, so that they're nice and dry for next week.
You have them color wash.
I would recommend having them color washed for Thursday, but I'll also go through color washing again if you want to see it again, and then I'll have one that's already dry that I'll start color or dry brushing on. You can't really mess it up. Don't worry about how ugly they look. They do look ugly until they're painted. Just mix your paint, 1 part paint, 2 parts water, shake it up, mix it up, stir it up, paint it on, do an area at a time, wash it off with the water and the sponge, do your next area, and then we'll dry brush them.
Australia says she's never used chalks. That's keep your eyes out for next year for this boxes.
So Courtney says someone mentioned that she's never used chalks. We can tell you that that's one of the extras in one of the boxes next year. So I actually tracked down some chalk, and Royal and Langnickel has a product that I think you guys are going to love. So look forward to that box next year. 2020, which is just around the corner. So we're planning for next year. We got lots of fun things going on, like the metallic rub-ons and the chalks, the marbling.
Someone asked if you do screen printing on ceramics.
So Courtney says, we have a question, do you do screen printing? Yes, you can do that too. That works too. Let's see, Molly says my query disappeared. So I'm not sure what your question is. Courtney will look for it, or if you can post it again. Dorinda says marbling. Sharon Kinsey has a book called The Backgrounds, and I have that. That's probably from the 90s or maybe even the 80s. And it has different backgrounds in it, and one of them is marbling. And you use your sponge, and then you use maybe 2 to 3 other acrylic colors, and you pat them on your piece, and it creates a marbling effect. So I'll be picking one of the techniques out of Sharon Kinsey's background book. Oh, so it's the Easter box? No, it's the birdhouse. It's the February box. So we'll be marbling in the February box. unless our molds are too wet, because they came in kind of late. If we can't get them dried, hopefully they've been at the shop in Beloit since last week, so hopefully they're drying and not out in the cold. If they're not drying, then we're going to have to switch to our swap February and January around. So January will be penguin themed, and February is birds with a birdhouse. So we may have to swap those around. We'll see tomorrow when Courtney goes and gets the bisque, or not the bisque, gets the molds, and we'll see how wet they are. If they're partially dry, we'll be able to go ahead with those.
Roxanne asked about glittering on certain parts of the ceramic piece, and if she watches our September box, the Halloween box.
So Courtney says we have a question by Roxanne. It says glittering on certain parts of the ceramic piece, certain glitter needed or sealed. You can use whatever glitter you would like. There's fine glitter, there's heavier glitter. There's the Docile, which is a real fine glitter for ceramics from Glazers. It's whatever glitter you like to use. I like the Diamond Dust. It's a real fine glitter. It's actually from Walmart. It comes in different colors. I think Hobby Lobby carries it too. I usually, if it's my big snowman, I spray, it's all finished painting. As I spray an area with my sealer, I will sprinkle whatever area I want glittered and then seal the next area, spray it, and then sprinkle some more glitter, because I'll do the whole snowman is covered in glitter. If you're doing just a small area of glitter, like with our Putz, he was sealed with a spray sealer. Then I came and put my snow on, and then I just sprinkled the glitter onto the snow, and then I'll just take it and tap it, or you can just give it a quick blow with your mouth to get it off the extra areas. Like there's just a little bit right here. So the snow is wet, so the glitter's stuck to your snow. So you can do it in the whole thing, or you can do it in just a little area. So brush-on sealer will work, right? Correct. So Courtney says the brush-on sealer will work. Yes, you can use the brush-on sealer as well.
And we do have that in the store.
So you would just paint your brush-on sealer. Say you just want, which we did that with our Halloween box. If you go back to the Halloween box videos, and Courtney put that on there, a link on there. You can see where we painted on our brush-on sealers on Mrs. Frankie's hair, just where I wanted the glitter, and then I sprinkled the glitter on that, and it only stuck to where the brush-on sealer was. So that's another way to do a specific area if it's a little area. So let's see, do we have any other little questions come out? Molly says, would like to see Fairy House color wash. Oh, well, guess what?
She's a subscriber too.
We're going to do fairy garden themed box in the late spring of 2020. So we will be doing something with the fairies. They seem to be a popular item. So yes, we're going to have a fairy box. I think Courtney and I talked about it. We are going to release the monthly list of the themes for the 2020. Another thing that we're going to do for 2020 is, because we've been at this for 6 months now, this month, you guys can see that the boxes are more than worth their value of what we charge with the shipping and the tracking and insurance, your Bisque and all the extras that come with it. So part of the subscription box is having a surprise. So we will be doing the unboxing videos, releasing that after the boxes ship, and you guys get a chance to open them and experience the true surprise of the box without seeing everything that's in the box. Well, and we didn't show everything in the unboxing videos either. We showed quite a bit of it, but not quite all of it. But we would like to have you guys have more of a surprise, because that's part of a subscription box, is being surprised by what comes. So starting with the January box, we will be releasing the unboxing video after the boxes ship and are received. So maybe it'll be like Courtney says she'll watch the tracking, and we'll have to figure out when the unboxing video will be, but it'll be after they're shipped. so you guys can actually have more of an experience of opening the boxes and seeing everything that's in them. But then we'll do our unboxing video like we were doing. It's just that it'll be after. So Cordy says we got some questions.
Vicky wants a brush-on sealer on the Snowman. Can you use brush-on sealer on the Snowman?
So Cordy says, can you use a brush-on sealer on a Snowman? Yes, you can use a brush-on sealer on the Snowman. There is a matte brush-on sealer and there is a gloss brush-on sealer. So you could use either one.
Mako has them, the line too.
Right. We have the Duncan line and Mako also has that, and we will be hopefully adding the Mako line here now in December when we order from Glazers. So let's see, Anne has a question. I was sold a bottle of Antique at Doc Holliday and was told, let's see, to
Stains with water.
I'm not sure what you mean. Was told to add it to my mix of stains with water. Have you seen or heard of this, and should you use it? I'd have to actually look that up. I mean, it might just be a thinner that's added to your paint.
Yeah, because Duncan sells a thinner.
Yes, you can buy different thinners to add to your paint, but for the color washing, I just use the water. I'm sure, I mean, if Doc Holliday sold it as a product, you can definitely use it. I mean, they have good products just like everybody else. Just read the instructions on, usually any bottle of paint that you buy or any product is going to have instructions on the back of your bottle. So just read the instructions of what it says. If you're not sure about it, take maybe a piece of bisque that's chipped or broke and try it out on there first so you're not ruining maybe a piece that you can't replace. That would be my suggestion, because maybe you don't even like it, but you could try it out on a scrap piece first and then do it on your good piece. So let's see, do we have anything else? Tammy says she's been using brush-on sealer. Yep, that was part of one of the boxes. The matte brush-on sealer will be possibly part of one of the boxes in the future. We have too many extras for next year already. It'll all depend upon what we're doing with the boxes. But I am trying to do the different techniques like the marbling and the rub-ons, and the rub-on metallic is an expensive extra. So and it's a full-size product, and you probably will not be getting a lot of the little extras like you have been getting with the Snowman, like the glitter and the snow and the scarves, because that rub-on product is quite expensive, and it's a big extra in that box. So and that'll be in with the birdhouse box with the birds. So let's see, do we have any other questions?
Yeah, Ray just asked a question.
Ray Brown, have you ever used regular glue thin down then to paint on glitter? Yep, you can do that too. That works too. Want to make sure it's a glue that's going to dry clear. I actually did that when I crocheted snowflakes. I mixed glue and water 50-50 and then pinned them down on styrofoam and sprinkled glitter on them. So yep, that works fine. You just want to make sure it dries clear. You guys can post questions as you think of them as well, and we'll keep an eye on them. You may not get answers tomorrow and Saturday. It probably won't be till Sunday, just because the next 2 days are filled up with the craft show, and I need to get some more stuff done. And then Saturday's the actual craft show, and Sunday we'll probably have loose ends to pick up. So it probably won't be till Sunday night if you do post questions, but don't think we forgot about you. We're just super busy, but we'll get to you. If you are a subscriber for December, they're packed up and in the mail, so look forward to your email Sunday night. Saturday night. Friday night. Yeah, see, it's kind of an ongoing mess here. So it'll be tomorrow night. Courtney will get the email tracking numbers for you guys, so you can actually track your packages after she gets back from Beloit. But sometimes she gets car sick, so she said she's driving, so she hopes she don't get car sick. But sometimes she gets a migraine with that much traveling, so maybe later Friday night. But she will be getting the tracking numbers so you guys can track your packages, which is a nice extra too, to be able to track your packages and see when they come. The box would be great Christmas gifts too. If you have someone that does ceramics or needs a project to do, we do have we actually have extras, which I was hoping we'd have a few extra purchases because snowmans are popular and it is the holiday month, so it's a great gift for someone if you want someone to get started, or if someone already does ceramics and all you do is put a bow on it and give it to them because it's all packaged up all cute with the bands and stuff. So we try to put a lot of work into the boxes. Again, if you have any questions, post it on the feed. We probably won't get to them till Sunday night, but ask away. Once you get your boxes, go ahead and do your color washing. If you have trouble when you're doing it, you're not sure, you can send a message and I take a picture of it and send it to me and we'll get back to you, and it'll all work out great. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Now I get to go home and glaze some trees so I can fire them tomorrow morning so they're ready for Saturday. So have a great week, you guys. If you have any questions again about color washing, go ahead and shoot a message. We have the free giveaway of the snowman, the navy, and the sponge. Just hit the like button and make a comment of what you'd like to see for as far as techniques or themes. And Courtney will put your name in a drawing and she'll post that on Sunday night and we'll ship it out to you. She'll just message you for your email address. Otherwise, have a great week and we'll see you next week when we start dry brushing on our snowman. So goodbye. Have a great week. Thank you for tuning in.